I don't even know what to call this video. There's just been a couple things I've seen over the last week or so that have just actually made me laugh like a hearty belly laugh, like Santa Claus, ho ho ho, just by the absurdity of it. So this is just going to be like a full dump of just a bunch of random things, stories, and videos that have just been on my mind as something silly. This first one is fresh off the press. This is a bun straight from the oven here. It's still piping hot. So Take-Two CEO is defending the outrageous idea that a Red Dead Redemption port is worth $50, and he calls it commercially accurate. Commercially accurate, my left foot. You're telling me that that vampire in a sweater, the CEO of Take-Two, was the one out there crunching numbers and collecting data, and he's like, well, actually, pushes up his glasses like Poindexter. This is a commercially accurate price point for the Red Dead Redemption port, and, well, all of you gamers just seem to be way off base with all of this outrage. Can you just please consume without thinking, please? Can you go back to just buying blindly and just give us money? Thank you. Now, for those of you that don't know what this whole situation's about here, I'm going to break it down to its bare bones. I'm going to feed you the apple from the tree of knowledge, so that way you, too, can take part in this common Take-Two L here. Rockstar Games made Red Dead Redemption, and it is an outstanding masterpiece. It's a game I'm sure most of you watching this have played, or at the very least heard of. But it's also 13 years old. It came out in 2010. It's a title that fans have been salivating at the thought of a remaster for. Even though the game still holds up extremely well today, in my opinion, it is a game that could absolutely benefit from a nice coat of paint and a lot more quality of life, attention to detail, and just general improvements. A remaster for Red Dead Redemption would go hard as fuck. So fans were really excited that there was some Red Dead Redemption news around the corner. But man, those hopes and dreams soon turned to nightmares when Rockstar confirmed that it's not a remaster, it's not a remake. What they're doing is they're doing a Red Dead Redemption port to the Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation 4 for $50. 50 doubloons, and you'll get Red Dead Redemption on Nintendo Switch at a crisp 30 FPS, so you can feel like you're back in the goddamn Stone Ages. And you can feel even worse about it because you paid $50 for the experience. Naturally, this was a slap in the face to every human being with a heartbeat reading this, because there's nothing hype about this. No one cares about a Red Dead Redemption port for the fucking Nintendo Switch or PS4. That's meaningless hoopla. Now, you might be wondering, why did the Take-Two CEO opine on this? What does he have to do with anything? Well, they own Rockstar Games. That's super simple. Take-Two owns Rockstar, and Take-Two is no stranger to L's. Common Take-Two L here, per usual. They are a greedy, evil corporation that has done so much shady shit over the years, it is gross. And, of course, if you're a fan of Rockstar Games, you're also no stranger to Take-Two spitting in your mouth. Take-Two is more than happy to dump excrement in the mouth of their fans like it's 2 girls, 1 cup. For Take-Two, it's anything in the name of profits. I don't want to open up an old wound here and pour salt in it. This is a scar that any fan of GTA bears, but I must remind you of the absolute catastrophe that was the GTA Vice City, San Andreas, and GTA 3 remastered from a couple years ago, which was basically a demaster. Fundamentally, it was like a fucking mobile port of these titles. It was abhorrent. That is a affront to God what they tried to pull with that whole collection they did there. Lord have mercy. Yeah, this is just a horrible idea here to charge $50 for a port of a 13-year-old game, especially in the modern landscape of things when you can emulate it and have a much better experience, like, in your own home. Not that I'd ever advocate for emulation, of course. Take-Two lawyers, if you're watching this, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying there are some hooligans out there that may dabble in emulation that will recognize just how silly this whole idea is for a $50 port of a game that is 13 years old with no remaster, remake, or like significant improvements at all. It's just greed for the sake of greed. Like, you know, it's just a very misguided idea here. I can't imagine what the actual fucking thought process was here other than just dollar signs in the eyes and hoping for the best. So yeah, just another big L here from Take-Two trying to say that a $50 price tag is commercially accurate for this product. I couldn't help but just slap my knee and laugh about it. Now the next thing that had me giggling was actually an advertisement from Mike Pence. I'm not here to get political or anything, but this ad was bafflingly awful.
Hey everybody, Mike Pence here. Remember $2 a gallon gas? I do. And then Joe Biden became president of the United States and launched his war on energy. Since that time, gasoline prices are up 60%. Electricity going to MikePence2024.com. We can lead the world once again to a more prosperous and a secure future for America.
Someone needs to lead Mike back to Doofus Town. Man is an escapee from Stupidville. That is not how pumping your own gas works. Clearly, Mike has never pumped gas in his life. I trimmed down his speech because that's not what's important here. He is literally a child playing pretend right now at this gas pump. He looks like me playing with Hot Wheels toys back in the day, having no understanding of how filling up a vehicle works. He has clearly never done this in his life. And throughout his entire campaign ad here, you can hear the beeping from the pump, which is telling him to please insert card. That beeping you're hearing is the sound of the pump that's trying to let you know that you removed the nozzle without putting your credit card in beforehand to pay for the gas you're about to fucking pump. This absolute goober didn't even realize for a second that everyone can hear that. And anyone who has ever pumped their own gas, which I imagine is most people, will know what is going on here. You can't just roll up to the pump, scoot in sideways, get out, grab the nozzle, and put it in. You absolute goofy son of a bitch, you didn't even select what gas you want to pump. It's not just a one-size-fits-all here. You choose what gas you want put in your car from your options at the pump. He clearly didn't know that. This little rapscallion just zooms into the gas station. He's like, hey, record me. I've got a good idea. This is going to be candid. This is going to be strong. Hey, Mike Pence here, which, by the way, is a wild introduction here. Actual Billy Mays shit. Like, he literally stole that from Billy Mays, but rolled a 1 on the charisma check and delivered it with zero enthusiasm. He just sounded straight up sad. He sounded just downtrodden. He sounded like Matt did when he told me that our package got stolen from his house. But anyway, yeah, he rolls up. He's like, hey, Mike Pence here. My fellow Americans, do you remember when gas was $2 at the pump? Because I don't. I've never seen gas in my life. Why is no gas coming out? I'm starting to panic. I'm pressing the trigger, but nothing's happening. Jeeves, but where's my butler to help me do this? Jeeves, come fill up my car. Oh my God. And what's even wilder to me is that the person filming didn't know either. Or he did know and didn't say anything. Which is actually a pretty hilarious joke, by the way, if this was a calculated decision from the guy filming, making Mike Pence make a fool of himself. It's just it's so disconnected from reality. Like, everything is wrong about it. Literally everything that could go wrong with this ad went wrong. Because I imagine most people know how to fill up their own car at the pump. Although I have heard that there are some states that actually have gas station attendants that'll fill up your car for you. But even in cases like that, I still imagine the driver understands the protocol behind filling up their own car if they had to do it. I don't think it would go like this. Or at the very least, you would at least hear the beeping and be like, what's gone awry here? But anyway, the next silly thing that I've been thinking about a little bit recently is the cocaine shark epidemic. I guess I'm kind of overselling a little bit. It's not an epidemic. There's just been an instance of sharks consuming cocaine and getting a little wacko mode off of it. There was an Inside Edition story even run on this, and it's a pretty entertaining segment.
How about sharks hopped up on cocaine? Experts say
What a
sharks may be
disaster.
gobbling up bales of drugs which have been dumped off. Had sharks swimming into dumped packages and biting into them. That gave them what the scientists call crazy brain. They behaved erratically.
Who named that? What scientist came up with that terminology? Are we sure it was a scientist and not a 4th grader? Crazy brain, huh? She hyped it up like it was going to be a real scientific term. The sharks bit into it, and scientists have claimed that it caused a phenomenon known as crazy brain. I feel bad for the sharks. Yeah, now they're going to become addicted. The first one's always free, that's how they get you. And then the last little story that's been on my mind a little bit recently is the ongoing lawsuit against Taco Bell for misleading consumers, saying that the food you get at Taco Bell isn't exactly how it's portrayed in their promotional material. And they used like the Mexican pizza as an example. And they're getting sued for it because they're saying that there's significantly less like beef and shit in it than the pictures lead the consumers to believe. I actually went over that one on stream. I learned about it in depth. It's a wild case. You see, Taco Bell just sued for false advertisement over the amount of meat. Don't tell me that Taco Bell's been nothing but W's recently. What's this? Oh no. Taco Bell, why? What have you done? Taco Bell is sued for false advertising of Crunchwrap's Mexican pizzas. Frank Siragusa was not happy that the Mexican pizza he paid $5.49 for to Taco Bell in New York last September appeared to contain only half as much beef and bean filling as the photo in the chain's advertising, so he sued. Can you do that? Because ain't nothing looking like the actual advertisement photos. If so, we're opening Pandora's box here. Because I'm ready to ride. In a proposed class action filed on Monday in Brooklyn, Siragusa accused Taco Bell of deceiving consumers by falsely advertising its Mexican pizza, veggie Mexican pizza, Crunchwrap Supreme, Grande Crunchwrap, and Vegan Crunchwrap as containing at least double their actual content. Based on what? Your eyeballs? How would you know? How would you be able to, like, actually prove that? Let me see. You know what? I'll start doing some super sleuthing. I'm gonna fight a little battle here for Taco Bell because I've been so fucking pleased with their food recently. Their Mexican pizza is, like, legitimately their worst item, though. So this one, I can take or leave it. I'll be honest. Don't care. Agreed. I've never got a Mexican pizza from Taco Bell that looked like this. It's usually just this messy fucking plate of mush. And there's, like, a little bit of flavor particles in there, really. I don't think it's, like, a crazy amount less. He took pics. Look it up. He took pics. Are they in here? And who's to say he didn't tamper with it? He'd need videos. If I was Taco Bell, the first thing I'm saying is, you took out all the filling, you scoundrel. To consume it for yourself, you glutton. Taco Bell was sued today in a false advertising class action. Consumers allege that Taco Bell misrepresents the amount of beef in the Crunchwrap Supreme by at least double the amount. Did our Crunchwrap Supreme look like that? I don't think it did. Same with this. There's no beef in this one. Let me see. Let me see what ours looked like. Let's go back to Exhibit A, our Taco Bell tier list. It's more so than what they had, but nowhere near what that picture looks like. But I feel like that goes for, like, every restaurant, especially something like McDonald's. I think McDonald's would even be more egregious than Taco Bell, but maybe Taco Bell's, like, an easier target, perhaps? Okay. But yeah, these are, assuming these are untampered with, these are pristine, PSA tin, fresh out of the wrapper Crunchwraps, then yes, that is a problem. I will agree with Frank Siragusa on that. Taco Bell, a unit of Yum Brands, did not immediately respond. Last year, one of Siragusa's lawyers filed a still pending lawsuit in Brooklyn accusing McDonald's and Wendy's over the actual versus advertised size of their burgers. Over the actual versus advertised size of their burgers. I was wondering what the fuck happened to that sentence. So he's done the same thing before for McDonald's and Wendy's. He's out here chasing ghosts. He's hunting every fast food chain that's guilty of this and has been for years. I'm guessing it never wins. The other lawyer, Anthony Russo, filed a similar case last year in Miami against Burger King over its Whoppers. That lawsuit went to mediation where it reached an impasse. Just close Burger King. Just close it. Just get rid of it. Just fucking close it for the good of the world. For heaven's sake. Taco Bell does not adequately disclose the weight of the beef or filling. Plaintiff did not make any purchases of the product based on any weight disclosed, but solely based on the picture of the product, as we believe most consumers do.